Peace. Peace, family. I'm gonna let some of y'all get on here before I get going. Peace and greetings. Just take it in for a second, family. Listen to them birds. Look at them trees. Look at that blue sky. Or, it's really not blue. It's just hues of different colors just coming together. You know what I'm saying? Giving you a projectile that you could understand. Man, it's a great morning. How y'all feeling this morning? Put some love in that box. Let me see you. Good morning, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I know some of y'all been up for a while. Some of y'all just getting up. It's gonna be an amazing video. I came out of a meditation this morning. Trying to figure out, what I wanted to say to the people. Let somebody know the video is going. Let's get some numbers up. Peace and light, peace and light. Peace and light. What's good, Queen Tay? What's going on? Peace and light. We're about to get into this, man. I just wanted to let y'all take a few deep breaths. Breathing is important, family. Breathing is important. It's so elementary, but so many people forget to breathe. We go through these stressful moments, you know what I'm saying? And we forget to breathe. That all is well, all is well. I like to hear that. All is well, peace. Y'all hear me say peace to man, woman, and child, and all things that walk the earth. It's a reason for that, There's many things upon the planet. So many things that we don't even understand. So many things that we see on a daily basis that we're not even paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? We won't even pay attention to it. I'm going to give some folks a little bit of time to get in here. And then we're going to jump into it. Peace and light. What we're talking about today, being a part of something larger. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are kind of crashing into each other. They're crashing into so much energy. They bring so much distraction about, so much discord, so much frustration and friction. All of these things that are taking place in the universe, a lot of times because something is trying to get your attention. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like the winds are blowing, when you feel like, you bumping into a wall, a lot of times it's not for your punishment. Sometimes something is trying to wake you up. Sometimes something is trying to get your attention. You know what I mean? And a lot of times to get your attention, just based on this construct that we live in, a crash has to take place, an explosion has to take place, some type of destruction or disruption seems like has to take place. Peace, Queen. Queen Neat in the building. Peace, Renee. What's going on, Queen? But a lot of times we mistake it for the wrong thing. We think that, oh, it's an explosion, so I must be doing something wrong. Or, this thing is blowing up in my face. I must be doing something wrong. Here's one of the things that I want to show you. When they say that whole thing, that trial comes by fire, that fire situation is a very important part of elevation. When we look at NASA, when we look at the space shuttles, right? In order to get that little bitty shuttle I mean, compared to the explosion that takes place, right? In order to get this little itty bitty shuttle off the planet, all of this energy has to take place. This balls of light, peace, queen, all of this light has to take place. All of this energy, rumbling energy. And they say in T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all that anxiety being pumped into that place. All the people responsible for getting it off the ground. All those heartbeats going. The people that's on the ground watching. All the expectations, all the fear, all the anxiety, all of that's going on in that one moment in time. And then they say one, and they hit the switch. All of this energy, and then the rocket takes off. See, you were on the ground to see what you was able to see the preparatory, right? You were able to see all of the energy that it took place to take off. But then what happens is that those who are left on the ground are left to their own perception. And the rocket goes up into the air. Those who are in the rocket got a greater seat to the show. But they took the time, they prepared. They spent hours and hours in oxygen chambers and weightless chambers, and they did the math and they did the science. They did all of these things to prepare themselves to be in the cockpit of this space shuttle, while all of the other people are on the ground watching. They're watching in amazement as these human beings propel themselves into a universe that these people will never have the opportunity to see. They will never have an opportunity to witness going through the stratosphere, going through that combustible little oval that keeps us safe. They'll never be able to witness the darkness of space. They'll never be able to witness the brilliantness of a star. They'll never be able to see the gas. They'll never be able to see it. And then the spaceship keeps climbing and it keeps climbing and it keeps climbing. And then all of a sudden another explosion takes place. And a weight is dropped. And all that's left is an itty bitty pod. But those that are on the ground that's looking up, all they see is another burst of light. And if those people in the cockpit didn't radio back down to Houston and say all is well, then those that were left on the ground are left to their own perception. And the perception could possibly be, something went wrong. There's an explosion. Something went wrong. There's fire. There's smoke. But those that are above the fire, they know the truth of it all. Those that are above the fire, they get to witness a new reality. Still trapped inside of a human body, they get to experience weightlessness. They get to look back at something that was so large and see it as so minuscule. Something as big as a planet, where they were able to climb a mountain and sweat from it. Now they're able to look at it, and within their fingers, they could just squish it based on their perception. Now Earth has no more value. The only value that Earth has in that moment is hopefully to get them back home. That's it. To radio in what they are experiencing. But in order to get them there, these few men, these few women, in order to get these fractional number of individuals into a place of weightlessness, it took thousands of minds. It took thousands of people. It took thousands of souls. It took thousands of countless amounts of energy. And they still don't even get a chance to witness it firsthand. They have to see it through the eyes of the few, Ashe. That's power. That's posture. That's positioning. But neither those that are weightless and those who are on the ground have either more value than the other. Because without the people on the ground, those in the air, those in space, those in the stratosphere would never make it back. They would have never made it there, and they would never make it back. However, without themselves, without the preparation for themselves, they would never make it in weightlessness. So we have a trifecta at all points, at all walks. We have a trifecta. You have to decide, do I want to be a part of something greater, or do I want to witness greatness happening before me? You have that choice. Do I want to spend countless of hours meditating? Do I really want to spend countless of hours in a place of nothingness and oneness all at the same time? Do I really want to separate myself from people who are having all this fun? Do I really want to separate myself from reality at moments of time in order for me to gain a new reality for myself, in order to come back and paint a new reality in reality? Do I really want to do that? Or do I just want to clap other people to their alternate reality? Because a lot of us are just clappers. But we need clappers. So if you're a clapper, clap hard. But if you really want to leave the earth with the ability to come back, then you got to be a part of something greater. Because those few didn't decide to just go out into space and throw a party. They didn't decide to just go out there and just take a few pictures and some ussies. No, beloved. They decided to go and take notes and plant seed and build and take note and plant seed and protect and to get the message and then to bring it back to the masses. But even when they bring it back to the masses, family, you got some people that's saying it didn't even happen. Space travel isn't even real. You didn't go anywhere. That was all a show. It was all Hollywood. Right? It was all for Hollywood. So you can't even worry about the perception of others while you're preparing to spacewalk. Let the naysayers be the naysayers. Let those with unbelief have unbelief. But for you, if you take part in something greater than yourself, if you decide to go and plant seed, then guess what happens, family? Everything else around the seed has to do its part. You understand what I'm saying? The seed is the same seed, whether it's in a bag or in the ground. It's the same seed. It's the same knowledge. It's the same wisdom. All these people with all of these great words and the root word for this and the root word for that and the Greek word for this and the, come on. I mean, all of that has place and purpose. But if you're not doing anything with that seed, if you can't put that seed in the ground, then you're nothing but a seed holder. You're not a planter. You're not a farmer. So you don't get to reap anything. Your purpose in life is to carry that seed until you meet the farmer. If you decide not to plant the seed has to be planted. You understand what I'm saying? You can't control that part. The seed has to be planted. So you either decide to be a part of the planting or a part of the passing. Because once you find that farmer, or once that farmer takes place within your mind and you're able to now plant that seed, everything around it within nature has to do its part. The sun has to shine upon it. The rain has to come down upon it. The earth has to grab it. The animals have to pee on it. They have to come and nibble on it. Everything has to take its place in order for that seed to then grow. And when the seed grows, it grows in expansion horizontally and vertically. Because if it isn't able to come out of the ground and withstand the forces of nature, then it's a weak seed. If a tree comes out of the ground and just blows over in the first wind, guess what didn't happen in its growing stages? It didn't grow outward and it didn't grow down. Stop being so focused and going up. Sometimes in order to go up, you got to create the combustion. You got to affect the people. You got to let them know I'm going up. And you got to prepare that preparation is the outward growing. The preparation and the connection, the radioing in to NASA, that's the going down into the earth. You got to touch the people first. You got to touch the elements that touch the people first in order for levitation to take place. A bird is, the purpose of a bird is to fly. But it comes out as an egg first. You understand what I'm saying, family? It's the same being in the egg as it is in the air. But it has to come out first. And then once it hatches, it has to understand flight. It has to understand it. Peace and love, Queen Lisa. Peace and love, peace and love. It has to understand flight first. See, a lot of people, they realize an awakening. Oh my God, I get it. And then they try to go fly without an understanding, without a people, without a grounding. They fly off the building. These sisters wake up and they want a conscious man. Oh my God, I got to get a conscious king. I got to get a conscious king. And then they go through all of this bullshit. Because see, a lot of those kings are on the ground. They're not even in the cockpit. They're not even in the terminal. Just because I claim consciousness doesn't mean I'm wise. Just because I claim consciousness doesn't mean that I'm ready to lead. Just because I claim consciousness doesn't mean I'm ready to fly. As a U.S. Marine, I had to go through an initiation process first. Then I had to go through boot camp. Then I had to go through my MOS training. Then I had to get sent to my base. Then I had to get respect to lead. But I'm the same guy that just took the oath. What's different? The application. It's not that you have to learn anything different. It's you have to burn different. You got to burn it off you. You got to shake off the egg particles. You understand? Are y'all getting this? I'm hoping so. Because one of the only things that keep us from shaking it off is the ego. One of the only things that keep us from elevating is our egos. And egos are nothing but eggs, unhatched. Monsters unhatched. That's all it is. An ego is the egg of a monster unhatched. Because how can you truly let go if you can't allow somebody to teach you? How can you truly let go? How can you truly know the way if you don't know which way? I mean, think about it from a very low frequency perspective. How can I learn how to drive a car? This car is tons. This car weighs cubic tons. It's an enormous responsibility. It can save lives and it can take lives, even in speed. If I call the ambulance and it's going 35 miles an hour and I'm bleeding out, I'm going to die. Peace, King Simon. But if it's going at 100 miles an hour in a controlled substance, I can get there a lot faster. But if I got an idiot behind the wheel, even in an ambulance, there's no saving me. So you got to understand the level of vibration, family. Just because you have knowledge doesn't mean everybody's supposed to get it. So sometimes you got to learn who to give it to. The first thing we come out, I want to save everybody. Listen, that's the weight. Why are you trying to save everybody? You ain't even saved yourself yet. You on fire with this knowledge. You on fire with this lesson. You on fire with this math, and you can't even contain it for yourself. You don't even know how to truly balance it for yourself. You be bouncing off the walls. You be just, you know what I'm saying? Especially for our kings. For our kings, the moment that happens, the moment that light comes on, oh, the sisters is on, they on it. The sisters is on it. They've been waiting for that light to come on. It's like a beacon. It just goes off. Bing, 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 bing. And especially in the springtime. Bing, 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 bing. Summertime. Bing, bing, bing. Oh my God. The wetness that's going on in between them. The desire that's happening. The sun is on them. Oh my God. Now the light hits you. Bing. And they just on you. Bah, 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 bah. And if you don't have no self-control, if you don't have no knowledge of self, then you just running through the penny. You just running through them. You just running through them. And it seemed like a great thing because it's knowledge of self. It's consciousness. It's immaculate sex. Why can't I do it? They come into me. Well, because maybe you were supposed to retain some of that. Maybe you were supposed to hold some of that back. Maybe instead of 5 of them, you was only supposed to give it to 3. Maybe instead of 3, you was only supposed to give it to 1. Maybe in that 1, you were supposed to make them wait. But you don't know that yet because that light hit you so hard. That awakening hit you so hard. Now you just find yourself speaking it to people. So the men want to serve you and the women want to fuck. You understand? It's the same on both sides. The men want to serve you and the women want to have sex. It's the energy. It's the energy. It's the energy. That moment you decide to be a part of something greater, something happens. It just matriculates through the atmosphere. People start feeling it. Oh my God, he's awake. He's awake. Oh. But now we got to decide what to do with it. You understand? When I joined the Marine Corps and they gave me my weapon and they realized that I could handle an M16, you know what they did? They said, oh my goodness. Let's give him a Mark 19 and see what he could do with that. So they gave me the Mark 19 and I sawed down the forest. So when they gave me the Mark 19, they said, oh my God, look what he could do with that. Then they gave me a saw. And when they gave me the saw and I was taking that barrel and I was drumming it down, they said, oh my goodness, he can handle a saw. Let's give him a M-Deuce 50 cal. So now they give me a Mar-Deuce 50 cal and I'm sitting behind this machine gun that takes 2 people to fire it because somebody got to sit behind you so your spine don't get blown out. And then another person got to sit beside you and tap you on your shoulder. Go ahead and shoot it, Shaw. Shoot it. Let's go. And then you got to cock it like this. See? Power. We went from glory to glory, but I couldn't start off with a Mar-Deuce. If I started off with the Mar-Deuce, I would have blew up everybody. Does it make sense? But I'm the same man. I'm the same man behind that M16 as I was behind the Mar-Deuce. But I decided to be a part of something greater. Everybody had an M16. I want to be a part of something greater. Let me get that. Let me get that. Why do we feel like going from glory to glory is a bad thing? We think humility and meekness is the same thing. It's not. Stop being so meek. Stop taking small bites of the tree. If you know that tree is for you, go take the tree. If you know that it's the seed that you're for, then you take the seed and you grow as the tree. Everybody has a different calling. But you can't look at me and say, oh my God, where did Seven the Alchemist come from? He just popped in the game and now all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. Nah, you just don't know what I was doing before I turned the cameras on. Don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to a Queen Neat. Don't compare yourself to a King Simon. You can't do it. Or if you're over that, then don't make no mistake about it. Don't make no apologies. I make no apology for what I am, for where I am, Ashe. Queen Rashida, peace. Peace and light. Peace and light, Queen Tanya, peace. That's right. We must master each level. It's like a video game. They try to show it to you as a child. They gave it to you as a kid. They put it in your hands. Alternate universes. Video games. What happens in the video game? You fight. Take a life. As soon as you take a life, you get a jewel. Bing. As soon as you slay that monster, you get a jewel. Bing. You put the jewel, you keep the jewel, Get to the end of the board. What's at the end of the board? a much larger master that you got to fight. You had to fight all these minions. You had to fight all these things. You had to jump over all these hurdles. You had to crawl through the hole. You had to go fast around the corner. Then at the end of the board, it's this big, huge monster. What happens when you defeat the monster? Reset the cycle all over again. Just because you at a different level don't mean the game changed. Just because you at a different level don't mean the fight changed. But guess what happens when you get to the next level? You got new weaponry. Learn how to master the weaponry you have now and you'll get more. You know what I'm saying? You get to go into the arsenal. You get to grab the grenade. You get to grab the machine gun. You get to grab the flamethrower. You get to make choices in power. And then you keep fighting and you get to the bigger board. But what happens when you beat the game, family? When you beat the game, it gives you an opportunity to either walk away, to start over, to walk away, or to start over. But in between those choices, the credits roll. Because without all these people, you still couldn't have played the game. Anywhere, I don't care I don't care how we do this. I could do this all day. You cannot do this by yourself. The moment you decide to play the game of mastery, the moment you decide to become a healer, the moment you decided, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to do this for these people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to build this business, it still requires an audience. It still requires people. And until you learn how to master the communication of those around you, you cannot. If we're counting down in English and I'm counting down in German and don't none of y'all know German, and I'm waiting for you to push the button so the rocket can go up. If we counting in Japanese and you over there counting in, the communication. Communication is what keeps us elevating. Ashe. And the only way to continue communication effectively is letting go of that ego. Is letting go of that ego. And ego doesn't always mean, you understand, like a forceful, boastful, this type of thing. It could mean you got so much pride that you just can't change. You got so much pride that you just can't hear knowledge. It doesn't mean that you're not a nice person. It doesn't mean that you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that you don't allow in. Your egg is so tough that it won't allow the light through. The egg is so tough that nobody can sit on it. I can't sit on your egg because I get hemorrhoids. You understand? I can't sit on your egg because it won't let me up. You got to become soft as yolk in order to fly. You got to allow the light around you, the nutrients of the world around you, the trees, the sound, the vibration, the coming and the going of things. Peace, Queen Michelle. What's going on? Peace. You got to allow the life of things. Stop being so conscious that you just can't enjoy life. You understand what I'm saying? I celebrate it all, family. I don't care. Because once you know the start of things, once you understand the origin of things, you get to change it. You get to change it. I'm going to give you for instance. Let's say Valentine's Day. Now, I give to my queens on a daily basis. I give to my queens on a daily basis. Okay? But the rest of the world is celebrating love in one particular day. Now, we can be so conscious that we exit out. We can say, well, the beginning of that day comes from this and the beginning of that day comes from that. But if we're watching a National Geographic channel and you're watching a bear hibernate, who knows what the origin of that hibernation was? But we do know that the hibernation sustains that bear's life. So if everybody is celebrating love in this particular day, no matter the origin, the energy of love is circulating. So if I'm able to catch the wave of that circulation, you understand, with the wisdom even of the origin, I'm still able to calculate and I'm still able to consume the love. You understand? It's science. It's not all, everything isn't always magic, family. Everything isn't always so spiritual. Everything isn't always so God. Everything isn't always so serious. So many of my conscious community isn't enjoying life because you're so stuck on the origin of things. You're so stuck on the purpose of things. You're so stuck on the magic of things. You're so stuck on being a vegan. You're so stuck on all of these things. You're stuck. And if truly the universe is within us, if truly the spirit of the creator is within us, if truly purpose starts with us, then aren't we able to change even the surroundings? Aren't we even able to change the code of things? Is that not alchemy, family? Is that not alchemy? See, we talk about being a vegan because we don't want to take the life of a living animal. But yet, we're taking the life of a living plant. And we're digesting that energy. So what we're saying is the energy of a slaughtered animal is less than the energy of a taken plant. But who gave us the control to evaluate the value of energy? Who gave us that power? You have to make it a decision for yourself. And once you make decisions for yourself, now you can elevate based upon your purpose. It doesn't matter who understands around you. I don't not eat meat because of taking souls or this, that, and the other. I don't eat meat because it affects my magic. And the moment I stopped eating meat, I started to understand the calculation of things. Now, if the universe tells me to eat something, I'm going to eat it, family. And I'm not going to care who's around me. Because all things require balance. We can't be so stuck that we can't learn some. See, back in the day, before there was all this religion, and the Anunnaki and all these creators that were bigger than the ones that were here first, they made them slaves. Go build my this, go build my that, go build this, go build that. And these little itty bitty beings was trying to feel like, well, how can I be as big as my God? How can I be as big as him? Well, if I eat that bear, then I can have the strength of a bear and I can go build that in less than a day. So there was purpose in consuming that. That being and that bear, they met eyes. And they said, I take your life for this purpose. And the bear, it gave its life, even if they had to fight. This is why the whole slavery story affects us so much. This is why we got to let go of so much energy that keeps us somewhere unelevated. We so conscious that we're not good for nobody. We spitting all of this knowledge, brother this, brother that, king this, king that, sister this, sister that, queen this, queen that. What the hell you doing? What made you a queen? What made you a king? You ain't doing shit for nobody. You sitting there high and mighty on your own throne. Doing what? Money rituals. For who? People that can't pay their rent. Why? Because they not being obedient to their own calling. Come on. We got to be a part of something larger. That's why you always see me saying magic up, yo. If your magic cannot move something, then what are you doing? Do you understand what I'm saying? If all I'm doing is money rituals for people that can't pay their bills, and I'm not teaching these people how to pay their bills, then what am I really doing, family? Does that make sense to anybody? What'd you say, Tanya? Let me see. Let go of the energy that just keeps us somewhere. Absolutely. We got to think about the things that we're doing. I'm going to say it again. If we're making all of this money doing money rituals for people who cannot pay their bills because they're irresponsible or because they have not taken upon themselves the light, then what are we really doing, family? You doing all this chakra alignment and then the person goes out and just consumes all this bullshit. Okay, yeah, you can make money, but then what are you doing, family? Yeah, we can make money off the loss. Yeah, we can make money off the weak. Yeah, we can make money off of all of these things. It's a job. Okay, you can. Yes, you are permitted to do so. Because a fireman is a fireman, a police officer is a police officer. Just because he's getting paid to be a police officer doesn't mean that he doesn't want to keep his community safe. We still have to provide for life. We still got to provide for things. So I'm not telling you that charging for your rituals is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. Make your money, family. That's why you have the gifts. But if that is all being the key word, if that is all you are doing, you are not a part of the higher purpose. All you're doing is eating shrimp and crab all day. All you're doing is taking from the bottom. See, I put myself in the surrounding with people who are already certified. And then I allowed my magic to be seen. Come check me on mine. I'm in these streets. And I speak it. I live it. This is my everyday. I don't care if you see me in this. If you see me in this. If you see me without this. I don't care how you see me with a baseball cap. I'm still the light. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you look like. It don't matter what you wearing. It don't matter none of that. Who you teaching? What you teaching? How you teaching? And they learning through silence. They learning through just watching you. When you go to the gas station, do they know your light? And you ain't got to be preaching to nobody. Damn all that. I'm not preaching to nobody. You understand? Because I'm not taking nobody nowhere. I'm just sending out the invitation. You can come on your own. I'm not taking you nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? We got to be responsible for our own flight. I'm not taking you nowhere. I'm just sending out the invitation. You want to be a part of something greater? Be a part of something greater. Ashe, learn, earn, and return. That's right, King Simon. Let me see, King Dennis, what you say? Peace, family. On the real, we are regurgitating years of information. That's all right, absolutely. When you don't know what to do with it, all you're doing is auditioning for, absolutely, for National Geographics. Absolutely. And then speaking on the National Geographics, sometimes we got to stop trying to manufacture life. Sometimes we just got to appreciate the nature of ourselves. Sometimes we got to stop with all of this trying to control humanity. You know what I mean? They're watching. They're watching. Just like we watch the animals, they're watching us. Just like we're watching the animals, they're watching us. What make you think we're not being watched? We're watching something. How ridiculous would it look to us to be watching the National Geographic, and here come the wintertime, Mr. Bear is about to go in for hibernation season, and here come Mrs. Bear. I bet you won't take your ass in that damn cave. You ain't pulled down the last set of trees that I asked you to pull down. You ain't go get Timmy the cub. Are you serious? I have never seen lions argue over who's going to take the king tonight. When you look at that lion, them lionesses are sitting right there in peace. They're not fighting each other over that lion. They're sitting right there in peace. The eagle has one mate. The lion has many. The eagle's not trying to be a lion, but yet they both dominate their spaces. Just because I might have one mate does not necessarily mean that I'm not the god. Just because I have many does not mean that I devalue queens. Live your purpose and stop trying to manufacture life for other people. You might not be an eagle, so you don't have wings. But if you got claws, family, you should be clawing the shit out of life. You understand what I'm saying? Claw the shit out of life. Give light to the eagle. The eagle gives light to you, because without clawing the shit out of life, then nothing's going to fall to the ground for the eagle to come down and scoop up. We are all a part of the food chain. Be a part of something greater. Don't be the one getting eaten. Eat, family. It's here for you to eat. I'm so tired of seeing y'all broke and broken just because you got the light. I'm tired of seeing you sacrificing. Who told you you had to live like that? I don't. You see this? I'm high up. I'm high up. I like the best of everything. Because if I truly am God, I'm supposed to be able to pick and choose. I'm supposed to be able to go, let me get that. Right now, I'm picking out a Ferrari for my birthday. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm picking out a Ferrari for my birthday. If I don't get a Ferrari for my birthday, it better come next summer. I'm telling you. You will see me whipping in the Ferrari or the Lambo or either the Tesla with the Falcon doors. I'm trying to show you vision, family. And when I decide to pull up to my cave in the mountains, I might be in a four-wheeler. I might have left the Lambo in the garage. But you actually think I'm going to come out here and do all this healing and live in a mountain? That might be for the mountain man. That's not for me. Though I might need my mountain retreat for my time to self. You understand? Because all things have balance. But don't get stuck. That's my point, family. Don't get stuck. Don't be so high up here that you cannot communicate to your people. And don't be so down here that you can't be elevated to higher because you feel like you don't deserve it. Because you're here to serve the masses. Well, guess what? It's rich people that need your gifts too. It's wealthy fucking people on this planet that without you, they won't get a Reiki healing. Without you, they won't have the protection. Without you, and they looking for you. Be a part of something larger, family, and the universe will do something larger for you. Let go of the ego and just go. I love y'all, man. Peace, love, and light to all men, women, and all things that walk the earth. I am 70 Alchemist. I love y'all.